大変長らくお待たせしました。PR2! 2 seconds.
All right.
Go, just do your thing.
Go, guys.
I am going to shake this thing of thumbtacks the entire time.
God damn it.
Welcome to Movie the Podcast. That's right, Movie the Podcast. It is... What month is this? Forward March? No.
What is Chadwick Bosemarch?
Chadwick Bosemarch.
But it's not that.
We're off theme for TJ's birthday.
That's right.
We watched Battle Royale 2. The Requiem.
No, it's just Battle Royale 2. Requiem is just
regular ass Requiem.
Well, they put Requiem. They put Requiem at the end of Battle Royale 1. It's like the extended edition. So I guess this is also like the extended director's cut or whatever.
Yeah, big shout out to the Blu-ray company that made it for not labeling any of the discs. I had to look at the fucking box to see which disc is which.
Nice.
Oh, you got that Blu-ray set that came out like a little while ago?
Yeah.
That's cool. But we watched Battle Royale 2, a much maligned film that I was really excited to dive back into. I have thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts.
I think this was only my second viewing of Battle Royale 2.
This was a movie that, I mean, we're talking like early internet days, like very early internet days. I was so pumped for this fucking movie to come out. I remember like there was a Battle Royale message board that I was on, and like shitty.
Was it called
like
Battle Royale?
No, I think it was just called like battleroyale.net or some bullshit. But like when the trailer came out, like it was like the crappiest, like little tiny square video, and I remember like just being so pumped. And then I had to, this was way back in the day, so it came out in Japan first, obviously, and then like I had to wait to get like a bootleg of it to finally watch. So there's a lot of good memories about this movie. Just like remembering the old like innocent days of the internet and actually waiting for shit and being excited. Not like now where it's just like everything sucks and I don't care about anything.
But it's readily available. It sucks if it's readily available.
Yeah, it's funny how that works. Like, I don't know. There was a certain charm back then to things. There was everything's cynical and terrible now. But anyway, moving on.
Speaking of cynical and terrible.
Yeah, so what did y'all watch this week? I only watched one thing, which is Tabled, and I watched it with you two, with Alec and Gog. So, Sean.
I watched two things.
Two things?
I watched an HBO documentary about Craig Carton, the guy that did the Boomer Esiason show. Does that ring a bell to anybody?
No.
He had a radio show in New York, and he went to jail for like defrauding a hedge fund to gamble or something. It's like this like really run-of-the-mill documentary, but it made me think that I hadn't heard sports radio since I moved, and I feel like I'm a better person for it because sports radio is like the bottom of the barrel of media.
It's so bad. And like, I think I said this to Alec before, because Alec and I have been in the car and listened to smidgets of sports radio here and there. But like, it's the same show every day, right? Like you could put audio in from like a year ago to today, and it's like it's always just the same shit.
I like
fans
Dan,
with their. Go ahead, guys. Sorry.
I like Dan Lebitard because he was like the anti-sports radio guy. But you're right. Every other sports radio show is basically.
I like that psycho.
Well, national sports radio shows are even worse than local. At least local, you get some information about a team you care about.
You get some flavor.
I hate when 105.7, like at night, they put on like the national show and they're talking about like the San Francisco Giants.
We're here. We got the Tampa Bay Lightning -2.
That kind of stuff.
I liked Scott Farrell though. Scott
Farrell, he doesn't do it anymore.
He was great when he was
a different show now or something.
Scott Farrell used to drive me nuts because he was the sports guy on the Howard Stern channel on Sirius for a while. That's how I first heard of him. But he'd play like music during his show, and it's like so distracting. Like he's talking, and like there's just songs playing underneath him talking, and it's like people. It was funny because like every sixth or seventh caller would be like, "Why do you have music playing?" And he'd have to defend it like every night. He's like, well, it's like a bar. If you're at a bar, the music's playing. It's like, no, but I'm not at a bar. I'm listening to this, and it's really irritating.
It also doesn't help that his voice sounded like a pillowcase full of like glass and gravel in a front load washer. Like he's like, hey.
It was like if Harvey Firestein drank a glass of sand.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, sports radio is like slash poll for boomers. Like, it's like the worst shit on earth.
Yeah, it's really bad.
I think it's interesting you watch a documentary about a guy who who defrauded a hedge fund to gamble because it's
I like that part of it, but
yeah, that part rocks.
So you stole gambling. You took gambling money from gamblers to go
but
gamble.
he paid them back, and they got him because like he borrowed it to buy for some other like spurious business thing, and he used it to gamble. But then he paid him back anyway, so they just got him because you have to use it for the express purpose or some bullshit. Like they didn't even like beat him for any money. So I not recommend. I watched Train Spotting 2 Judgment Day.
Oh, it's actually called T2, isn't it?
Yeah.
How was that?
It's excellent. Like I think
yeah. Wow, like it came out and like no one talked about it. Like it came out to no fanfare at all.
It's one of these weird sequels to a movie where like we're almost running a parallel age to the characters. Like this doesn't happen very often. Where I mean, they're like 10 years older than us. I think the actors, but the characters are like 5 years older than us.
Right.
But it's like, it kind of goes to show that like you don't get better as you get older. You just get older. Like you're still just as fucked up.
Right.
And like it's kind of dealing with like how nothing really changes and the whole you can't go home again. There's a great line where Sick Boy goes, look, you're on something like you're on a worst drug nostalgia. It's like you're a tourist in your own fucking youth.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. Did Danny Boyle direct this one too, or no?
He did, and I wanted to say that like I really appreciate with all the boring dialogue heavy movies we watch. Like this is a character drama, but like Danny Boyle's an interesting filmmaker, so there's all kinds of weird angles and like stunt type shit that you know how Danny Boyle makes movies.
Sure.
But it keeps all the slow parts like visually interesting, and the movie's like 2 hours long, and it flies by.
How did you watch it? Is it on anything?
I rented it on Amazon.
Oh, okay. I gotta check it out. I really wanted to watch it when they announced it, and then I just kind of, I forgot about it, and here we are.
It's funny because, like, Amazon, like, the subtitles changed the Scottish slang. So there's, like, where Renton's like, did you knob her? But the subtitle said, did you fuck her?
They're doing the work for you.
That's translating it for you. I like that.
But, yeah, that's a strong recommend. If I had seen it, whatever year, 2017, it would have been on my list.
Wow. I gotta watch it.
But that's all I watched. Alec.
I watched 4 things.
That's the Alec that I
There he is.
Yeah. It was a slow week. So, starting off, Nomadland.
Is that the trailer park movie?
Not trailer park, like Wandering Caravan.
With Frances McDermott, right? Yeah,
yep. Directed by Chloe Zhao.
Who's that?
Who's also directing the Marvel Eternals movie that's coming up.
Weird. When's that ever coming out?
It's like September, I think.
Oh yeah.
I believe
it's really good.
September.
September.
So it's good, huh?
I really liked it. Frances McDormand's really good, but I mean, she's really good. She's just a really good actress.
I can't really think of a bad performance.
Yeah, so this town, this woman, she used to work at a gypsum mill. The gypsum mill closed. The whole town slowly just died. Like the town's just not there anymore. Like they said like the zip code was retired because nobody lived there. Everybody moved on. Wow. So it's just this dead factory and dead town. So she starts living in her van, and they call them nomads. They have another name too in the movie. I can't remember what it is, but they drive it to to areas and live in their vehicles and work until the work dries up, and then they go somewhere else. But like they have like deals with like Amazon where they'll work for Amazon for like a few months and get a free place to park their van or trailer or whatever for that time while they're there.
Huh.
It's a really interesting movie, and it's really neat, and it's like based on real, like a real what do they call, like movement.
Because
there's a guy.
It's on Prime, right?
It's on Hulu. It's a Hulu. I think it's a Hulu exclusive, I believe. But that's really good. There's her and there's one other real actor, and everybody else is just people from these like real caravans.
Oh, that's interesting. Are they do they come off like weird and wooden, or they?
No, they come off as like authentic, and apparently some of them didn't even know it was like a movie. They just thought they were interacting with Frances McDormand and like a documentary crew was like filming it. They didn't realize it was like a drama.
Because like there was that one movie about that guy he took, there was like a train that got taken over by terrorists, and there was like 3 Rangers or something on the train.
That one guy is Clint Eastwood.
Under Siege 2.
And that
was a Clint Eastwood movie where they had real soldiers like acted in it.
It was,
but they were like terrible in it, right?
It was so bad, yeah.
Yeah, of course they were.
It was fucking, what a dumb idea. What a bad idea. They were actually in it. Yeah, can they act? No? Oh, okay.
Give me Leo DiCaprio instead.
Well, I think the thing is from I'm just guessing from what Alec is saying, like these people aren't the main part of the movie, whereas Clint Eastwood made those guys like the thrust of the film.
They're not acting in the movie; they're just doing whatever they're doing, right? So like they don't have the opportunity to be wooden.
Yeah, they're just like they're ancillary pieces. They're not. There's no focus on them.
Yeah, it sounds kind of like
at all
under the skin, like what they did with that movie. Like all the people not all. There's one of them that's a plant, but most of the people that Scarlett Johansson talks to don't realize they're being filmed. Like they had like a bunch of hidden cameras all in the van.
Just a bunch of guys being creeps.
Basically, you should watch the movie. Well, I don't know if you'd like the movie, but it's an interesting movie. And
it's not the most approachable film.
I love it. I think it's fantastic. But it's funny because you'll read people's reviews and like, oh, those actors are bad. And it's like, yeah, bro, they're not actors.
They shot at Gonzo. It was basically like if Bang Bus was real and also a movie.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing. Also, one of the few movies you get to see an erect penis.
Shout out to erect penises.
I don't want to alarm you, but I watch movies with erect penises all the time.
I mean films.
Feature length is pretty sick.
Like Kino.
Not gay porn.
Is there a different kind of porn now?
No.
Oh, okay.
There's some gross stuff where they throw a woman in there, but I don't know what that's about.
I guess that's for science.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Go ahead, Alex. Sorry.
Watch Black and Blue.
Oh, that looked pretty good. That's with I remember the trailer for that. It's like about a. Go ahead. You go ahead.
Yeah, Frank Grillo's in it. Tyrese Gibson's in it. Michael Coulter is in it. The main character is Naomi. I can't remember her last name. She's really good. She was played Moneypenny in the new Bond movies.
She also was.
I can't remember her last name.
She was the main character's mother in Moonlight, and she's been in a bunch of movies. She's very good.
She is. And the movie's really good. Like, I enjoyed it. It was a little long. Naomi Harris, that's her name. It was a little long, but everybody's performances are really good. It's about. Oh, she was in 28 Days Later. She was the.
Oh yeah. How did I forget?
Like,
that?
even though that movie's like 20 years old now, she was in that. She was
that's right.
One of the people that he finds on the road.
Yeah.
Real quick, I'm sorry. It made me think of this, Alec. I didn't mean to cut you off. But the girl Diane from Trainspotting, the young girl in the first movie, she's in this. She was the wife in No Country for Old Men. She played Luella Moss's wife. I had no idea that was her.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
So she's the one at the end that that she has one of the best scenes in the whole movie with Anton Chigurh.
The bills away. It's like I wouldn't worry about that.
God, I love that scene. That scene is so good.
Sorry, Alex.
No, you're fine. So she is a fairly rookie-ish cop, and she gets paired with a grizzled veteran, and they're going about their business, and he gets a call on a cell phone to go meet an informant, and he says, stay in the car. She gets out of the car, follows him, and sees Frank Grillo blow the informant away. Then they see her, and they try to kill her, and hijinks ensue. Without giving too much away, it's a pretty good movie. Like, I was actually impressed with it. I didn't have very high expectations. It was just it was something. It was that, and I feel like the 21 Bridges. I saw the trailers for like a million times. Yeah. I agree. Not last fall, but the fall before that at AMC, because I'd go at least once a week to see a movie. I feel like I saw those trailers at least like 20 times.
The trailer for 21 Bridges, I feel like we saw that trailer like for months. Like they kept showing
I feel like it came out with like Endgame.
Yeah,
and it still was being shown like in December.
Well, because remember,
same trailer.
Part of the promotion in the trailer is from the minds of the Russo brothers or whatever, because they produced it. I think they might have wrote that movie too. But yeah. So was Black and Blue on anything, or did you rent it?
It's on Prime on the Stars add-on.
Stars.
So Gogs can watch it.
Yeah, I can watch it too. Apparently,
so can I. Because I bought it. I still have my subscription to Stars.
I think I got Showtime now. I had BET for a minute. I had BET for a week to watch Space Jam.
Showtime. What did I see the other day? Oh, we already talk about this? I guess HBO Max absorbed all the like good Cinemax content, so like Banshee and The Nick are on there now, which are two really good shows that like.
What about Red Shoe Diaries?
I'm sure that's
was that Showtime. That might have been Showtime.
No, it was Cinemax.
It's David Duchovny. Just talking about banging women.
Yeah, he bangs a lot of women.
Classic Duchovny.
So I started listening to this podcast called Films to be Buried With.
I've never heard of it.
It's a neat podcast. It's
better than ours. Are you going to be a guest on their show?
Have to be.
No. They had Yvette Nicole Brown on, or the host had her on like last week. She's the older black lady from Community.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And she's in that one scene in Avengers Endgame. She's in the elevator scene.
Because didn't the Russos work on Community? That's like the connection.
Yeah, they worked on Community and they worked on Arrested Development. Like, that's how they started in those comedies. But they brought her in to film that scene, and they filmed it, but it was supposed to be for Infinity War. So she saw Infinity War and thought it got cut. And then her and a bunch of friends went to see Endgame when it came out. And she's telling the story how she's slowly realizing that her scene's about to come up in the movie that she hadn't told anybody about because she had to sign like non-disclosure agreements and stuff. Sure. And like she's just like losing her mind in the theater waiting to show up on screen.
That's gotta be neat. That's gotta be really cool.
I was like, that's a cool little story. The podcast is pretty good. I found it because one of the guys is one of the stars and writer and producer of Ted Lasso.
Oh,
the guy who does it. Anyway, moving away from other podcasts.
I didn't even realize there were other podcasts.
Coming number 2, America.
I got to assume that you didn't like it because this is the first you've mentioned it, like in analog or otherwise. I feel like I would have heard about it before.
It is perfectly acceptable.
Oh, okay.
But like trying to I saw Elliot said he loved it, and I was like,
he's the first person I've seen that said they really liked it. Everybody else
love the original. If you love the first one, I don't see how you could love this. This is a shell of Coming to America.
What are your feelings of the original film?
I love it. It's like
it's
great.
Might
be Eddie Murphy's
it's real good.
Movie.
Yeah.
It's very good.
So goddamn good.
Do you like it better than Trading Places?
Yeah.
Everybody does.
I mean, it's no golden
except for Gogs.
It's no Golden Child.
Yeah, maybe everybody except for Cox.
I mean, it's definitely better than Golden Child.
Maybe, but I watched Golden Child.
I mean, that movie's still good too.
I watched Golden Child about 1,000 times because it was always
Eddie Murphy for about 5 years just was like banger after banger after banger. Not even including Raw and Delirious.
I mean, I have a soft spot for 48 Hours, but I feel like Coming to America is a better movie.
Yeah, 48 Hours is a tough sit these days.
Oh, it's bad. Yeah.
Like Nick Nolte, like exercising all his demons.
Dude, Nick Nolte is dropping like racist terms I've never heard before in that movie. Goddamn, I'm not gonna repeat them. But
Reggie, goddamn moon cricket.
Like what?
Yeah, what? You gotta be a special kind of racist to come up with ones you gotta.
Yeah, you gotta
up.
like call your dad and be like, "Hey, you know what this means?"
Oh yeah,
That's a classic.
Sit down, son. Let me tell you a tale.
All right,
but
so
it's
Coming
like,
to America.
It's fine. It's not like I honestly, I would love to know how Elliot felt about the original, because when I saw him like saying how much he loved this, like I was shocked, like, because I don't know, it's not nearly as edgy.
Yeah. Well, it can't be.
Play it was like super safe.
The original had titty in it.
Yeah,
lots of titty.
Wesley Snipes is really good in it. He plays like an African warlord.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's really good in it.
Well, it's disappointing because what's the Dolomite movie that he did that we watched together?
Oh, that was so good.
That was so good. And I was like, well, he still got it. Maybe he can make a great sequel to Coming to America. But, making a comedy sequel is always hard. And making one 30 years after the fact or whatever is even harder.
Oh, definitely.
And then in the trailer, I saw them talk about Wakanda, and I'm like, ugh, like gross. This is stupid.
I mean, it's a real place. Like, I don't know why you have that attitude about it.
About Wakanda.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Wakanda. I just thought like I don't like the like dropping in like current pop culture. It's like, I don't know, it's always cringy when like shit does that. It's like it's like a step away from like you kids eating your Tide Pods. It's like, okay. Like, it just always feels dated. Like, just stay away from those kind of jokes because it like it just ages your shit. Like with that, it doesn't need to. Like,
now that I'm looking it up, it was directed by the same guy who directed Dolomite Is My Name. So like I don't know.
I don't know. That Dolomite movie was fantastic.
Oh my god, it's outstanding. Like it might have been the best Netflix movie to come out in a few years. Like it's so good.
It was really good. It was funny. It had a lot of heart. It was directed well. All the performances
fucking
were good.
like raunchy as shit.
Wesley Snipes played a gay guy, which is pretty amazing.
Well, like a super down low gay guy.
Oh yeah, but it was there. It was all there.
Hey, I remember you. You were. Or what movie was it? Like All the President's Men or something?
Yeah, it was.
Like, I was in that. He's like, yeah, you were the elevator guy. Push the button on the elevator. See, Coming to America is reminding me of a better movie, so it failed at its job. The last movie I watched was Psycho Gorman.
Oh, that's Tangled, because Gogs watched it too.
Gogs had already seen it, hadn't he?
Oh yeah, well, so did I.
Oh, God,
I saw it too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was the only one who hadn't seen it.
Yeah, we all watched it together. That's the only thing I watched this week.
Oh, I bet that was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Alec actually. So here's the thing that's monumental about this. I recommended it, and Alec actually liked it. I thought Alec was going to like it, and he actually liked it. This is
Alec, how'd you feel about the movie?
I thought it was great. I loved it. I thought it was really, really fun. A really fun, disgusting mess.
Don't worry, Mom and Dad. Worry.
I will bathe in your blood. He's not. He's family.
Yeah, I thought it was great. Everybody's really funny in it. For a bunch of like the chemistry they all have for a bunch of people that like are no-name actors who've never been in anything.
Yeah,
is like kind of incredible.
I remember the scene I forgot to talk about when I talked about it last time, but it makes me laugh.
Your beard's looking good, Sean.
What's that?
Your beard's looking good.
Oh, thanks. It's scene where he's like, one time this guy had a van full of baseball cards he wanted to show me. That seems so fucking funny.
I got into his van and he showed me a pristine collection of baseball cards. I had a great time.
The dad is such a shithead in that movie, and he's so funny. Like, he somehow annihilates their microwave, and the wife is like, "What did you do?" "I made a delicious meal for my family. That's what I did."
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Or that scene where the dad's taking his shit and Psycho Gorman's like sending an SOS
and explodes
like, astral plane where it's just like, oh!
He's like, I don't know where that is.
We're at the corner of Belmont and Rose.
Oh, that movie's so funny.
That movie rules.
It's hilarious. I'm really glad everybody liked that movie because I
thought it was a gem. It was delightful.
It's so much fun, and I hope they never make another one because it's like perfect. Like don't make a sequel.
No, make another one where they're teenagers and it's in like the 2000s and everybody's wearing like Jinko jeans.
But it's also like the post-Gorman apocalypse.
Yeah, he destroys the world at the end of the movie.
Well, just their town. They can move.
No,
I don't even think it was their town. Their town seemed to be fine. He teleported to somewhere else and started blowing shit up.
No, the news said it was like this, like Silver Gulch or whatever. It was the same.
I still love the fact that kid, at the end of the movie, that kid's still the horrifying brain monster.
Parents don't care.
Nope.
Well, the best is like that scene where they're in the diner and the brain monster's just sitting outside and guys just walk past it. Nobody gives it a second thought.
Will I ever be normal again? Probably not.
No.
But she still loves him anyway.
Yeah. Yep. That little girl is so funny.
She's great.
The part where she's like praying to the cross and then she's just asking Jesus what glasses she should wear. Then ends the scene by saying, "What do you know? There's a new god in town, and his name is Psycho Gorman," and she breaks the cross.
What was the scene where they're like doing the Morse code? It's like, I told you, Grandma's in hell.
Forever. What was your favorite part of the movie, Alec?
The science.
The science. I liked the Ministry of whatever they were, like Parliament or whatever.
Oh, the aliens?
Yeah. I like at the end where he just pulls a gun out and is like, who wants to kill themselves?
Yeah. That guy got a 38. Like, he's got a 38 snub nose.
I think Sean mentioned it, but the one alien is just like a head in a jar and it emotes. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. It looks like Beaker. It's just like, oh.
Oh, what a fucking great movie!
Yeah, it was great. I can't recommend it enough to anybody.
It's so good.
Check it. It was short too. It seemed like it was only like an hour and 20 minutes.
Also, I think I said that, I don't know. I was very drunk last night, but I think I didn't catch the first time I watched it that PG is also a joke. Like the fact that they call him PG is a joke on the 90s genre that they're spoofing because those movies were also always PG. I think that's what they're going for. I could be wrong. And then the rap, the narrative rap at the end of the credits is also brilliant.
Pretty great.
Oh yeah, their song they said their band and their song like Frig Off.
Frig Off. I like at one point the sister's like, "You're out of the band." Oh, what a delight! I can watch that movie 100 times.
That was my second viewing of it, and I enjoyed it the first time. The second view, I don't know if it was because I was with people or just because I was prepared for what it was. It was good the first time. It was so much better the second time because you could you knew what you were in for and you knew what to listen for.
I feel like that movie is enhanced by people around you because I hope someday post COVID we can get a proper screening of that movie because I would love to watch that in a crowd of people.
You have it at the auto bar. We get Movie the Podcast hosts the screening of Psycho Gorman.
I could easily I could arrange that. I mean,
Yeah, you could, but do we want to really watch a movie with those people?
yeah.
Ugh.
Sure, why not?
Baltimore Rock Opera
I mean,
recommends.
can't we just
Those
invite Matt to Goggs' house and call it a day? Like,
Yeah, we could also do
and
that.
Jared draw
Yeah.
fucking,
Beef Weasel Matt McCormick would. I think if he hasn't seen Psycho Goreman, I think he would very much enjoy it.
But not that other Matt that watches bad movies on purpose,
yeah.
because that brings him joy in life.
And he wakes up babies. What was I going to say? Oh, the director of the movie liked the drawing I did. That was cool.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
What was the drawing?
It was
Your
just
dick?
it was a painting of the little girl kissing the brain monster. It just said, "This could be us, but you planned."
Yeah, that was good. I remember that one. That's awesome. That's always cool when people like the people show up. Like, I feel like it's what's fun nowadays is that, like, you know, we like these smaller movies, and those directors are still like closer to, you know, us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they're still like regular. They're still like regular people. Like, I've talked to the three people that made Turbo Kid and Summer of '84, and they're like very active on their social medias, and they're very like responsive, and it's just awesome. Like, they make great stuff. Or the people that made Becky, same thing. Like, those guys like are very like active on their social media platforms. It's cool because I don't know.
It strikes me as being needy.
Why? I like it.
No. I want my directors to be unattainable.
I
don't want to interact with them at all.
I think it's cool. I don't know. I think that there's like something neat about like these guys making these kind of smaller movies that have like, you know, I feel like the people that like Psycho Goreman are going to prop that movie up for years. So it's cool that like they support, you know, diehards like that.
Yeah,
Also directed Week by Alec.
I have a real sense of entitlement with those movies. Like, it's like, you better respond to me. I watched your $12 movie, you piece of shit.
Anything else, Alec?
Nope, just finished up WandaVision and ended up really good. Not the ending I wanted, but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But yeah, it's that is it.
Bring on Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I watched Psycho Goreman, which we talked about.
I like it.
I loved it. I rewatched Onward, still love that. And it pissed me off because I was on, I couldn't sneak away to watch the rest of it today. I watched the first like 20 minutes of Boss Level, Joe Carnahan and Frank Grillo's Boss Level.
I didn't know Joe Carnahan was involved with that.
Yeah, and Mel Gibson. It's the first like 20-30 minutes of it I was really into. I just need to find time to wrap it up. It was not the movie. It didn't start anywhere near what I expected. The premise being that Frank Grillo wakes up. It's Palm Springs, but if Palm Springs was like mixed with like shoot 'em up, I guess, not John Wick, but like shoot 'em up. Like, it's like every day Frank Grillo is awoken by like a team of assassins trying to kill him, and he can't figure out why. And the movie opens with him in his 140th. Every time he dies, the day starts over. And he's 140 tries into this, and he's trying to figure out what the hell. But yeah, I want to. Frank Grillo's voice is very, very gruff. I don't remember it being as like gravelly, but I gotta wrap that up. But
did you ever watch Wheelman on Netflix?
I never watched Wheelman. I know you guys liked it a lot.
It was good. Yeah, watch that.
I mean, I might be on an island here, but I like Joe Carnahan movies quite a bit generally, even like his shittier movies.
I'm trying to think, what else do I know that Joe Carnahan's done?
He made The Gray, which is really good.
I like The Gray.
He made Smoking Aces.
I like Smoking Aces.
He made.
I do not like Smoking Aces.
Yeah, Narc. He made that 18.
I did not like the 18. I liked Narc. I did not like 18.
That 18 movie is not bad, dude. That 18 movie.
I don't know, the endings. I know the movie's stupid, but the ending's like too stupid for me.
I liked it. I really like Narc. I thought
Narc is really good.
He also made a movie called Stretch with Chris Pine, which isn't a great movie, but like it's fun.
I've never seen that.
Where he's like a limo driver.
Interesting. Was that early in Chris Pine's career, I guess?
No, it was like post Star Trek and stuff. It was one of those movies that like got caught like 80 different people are supposed to release it, and I don't know who did what cocaine and got popped for molesting a waitress, that kind of shit.
It's like Hell or High Water. It's like one of these movies that sort of slipped in under the radar.
Yeah, not quite to the level of quality of Hell or High Water, but yeah, similar.
Hell or High Water is amazing.
What
a great movie that is. Anything else, guys? So it's just me, and I just watched the one thing, so we can move on to our feature presentation.
Moving on.
Battle Royale 2.
Battle Royale 2.
Gogs, what happens in Battle Royale 2?
So it's 3 years after the original Battle Royale. After I always get the dude's name, Nana, whatever. The guys who won.
Shunya. Nanihara is his last name. Remember in Japanese, family name goes first.
Right. So it's 3 years after that, and those kids who won in the original movie.
Well, just two of them.
No, two of the kids who won in the original movie have gone on to lead basically a terrorist organization or a resistance against adults and ostensibly the United States of America.
Can I pause you real quick?
Sure.
This is my favorite premise of any movie I think ever.
Yeah,
it's bold.
These guys cause 9/11.
Yeah, some Japan's Japan's
It's even worse than 9/11 because it's two buildings that look exactly like the two towers, and then like 7 other buildings that fall down.
So,
and this came out like a year after 9/11. Like what was it like?
They were showing it on the flights.
Hold on.
2003.
So it came out basically right after 9/11.
Still, yeah. So now the idea is
we're going to. By the way, from a production standpoint, that is a bold decision. Like, let's just make. And also, this isn't like that awful. I think it was Mark Wahlberg 9/11 movie. Like that. Didn't he make a 9/11 movie? Like,
I'm sure.
This is like fuck America 9/11 movie.
This 9/11 from the point of view of the terrorists.
This is the most wild ass fucking like I can't imagine like them going, this is what we want to do with our sequel. Like I think that alone is the reason I like this movie so much.
Well, you liked it, and the woman who wrote The Hunger Games liked it because she
followed
the exact same thing.
I kind of wonder like how much of this was in because the son directed this one, but he wrote both of the movies. I wonder how much of this movie was in, like, how different it would be if his father had survived all the way to finish making the movie.
Yeah, well, yeah, the father that directed, he's still credited as the director of this, but he died like early on in production of this movie. So like, you can definitely, we'll get into it, but I feel like there's a definite like there's a shift in this movie where like. The movie starts out insane, and then it definitely calms down, and you can feel that directorial shift, in my opinion.
Oh, did you mention how this movie was co-produced by Sega?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
True?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. So this movie is co-produced by Sega. Neat. So now you've got the Battle Royale 2 initiative, which they decided to whip it up. They passed the act and whatever the governing body is in Japan. They got all of their branded logoing done. They made their semi-rigid inflatables and their vests, and they took a bunch of kids, and they're like, well, we're just going to fight kids with kids because, that's you fight fire with fire. You feed a cold, you starve a fever, or whatever it is.
I mean, it makes sense in the context of
it makes perfect sense.
The same world that initiated the Battle Royale 1 act to do that again, where it's like, we'll just keep throwing these disposable kids.
We're trying to get rid of them anyway, right?
Yeah.
So they hijack another class of students and take them to like a military compound. And there's one girl. She's she was Beat Takashi's daughter, and she's looking for revenge against these kids because when she blames them for Beat Takashi killing himself.
Incorrect. That's not correct.
That's not correct?
No, she's trying to get perspective on why her father did what he did. She's not mad at the kids.
I thought she was. I missed that.
No,
Terrible.
she's trying to understand because she was upset that because she finds the painting somehow.
Right.
It doesn't make sense how the painting got back to her.
Got recovered, right?
But
like quick, before you get any further, because I don't know if we'll touch on this scene directly. Can we just commend whoever beat Takashi like a total dickhead in his one scene where he's wearing a Pro Keds non-hooded sweatshirt and Zuba's slacks?
He looks like he looks like that scene where the fucking I just botched it. Go ahead, move on. Cancel me. I'm out. Go.
He looks like he's shooting Codename Dad or something in an adjacent lot. I've never seen a wardrobe like this in my life.
Yeah, it was something.
Also, you dress like Dork's scene from Pulp Fiction. That's what I was going for.
Oh, yeah. The Santa Cruz Bananas or whatever.
Yeah, you guys going to a high school volleyball game?
Didn't you tell me that that's an actual college?
No, that is a true thing. At University of Southern California, Santa Cruz, the Fighting Banana Slugs. I have one of their T-shirts.
That's awesome. I need to get one of those. Anyway, continue. This synopsis should be very fast.
Oh yeah. So they put the kids on boats and they explain the whole thing about. So here's all the rules. If you die, you're paired up. If your partner dies, your neck explodes. If
neck collars, you should have not just simultaneously. Your neck explodes.
It just happens to explode.
It's just like the first movie. You have exploding neck collars on you, like the Running Man or whatever.
Yeah. So you've got if your partner dies, you die, which seems kind of wasteful in my mind, but I guess it gives you an impetus to keep them alive. If you separate more than 50 meters, you both explode. And if you're in the hot zone when the thing goes off, then your neck explodes. Here is your vest. Here's your helmet. Here's your battle rifle without any ammunition. Get in this boat. We're going at it. And they send them in, Steven Spielberg, Saving Private Ryan style-y. They are under fire.
20 of them get
fucked up.
It's funny because the first movie, they're very deliberate and kids die slowly. I would say they take much more time developing the kids' characters in the first movie, whereas in this movie, 20 kids die at once, and it's just I think
kids don't even hit the shore. I think they lose 12 or 14 before they even get to the coast.
And I think what they're trying to, I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking this, but I think what they're trying to do is they're making more of a critique on the namelessness of dying in a war. It doesn't matter. You're just cannon fodder. It doesn't matter. 12 of you die in 5 minutes. We don't know any of you. We might know your name, but we don't know anything about you, and you're just dead. I think that's an interesting juxtaposition compared to the first one, where it's every death was a lot more meaningful and serious, where this one's just whatever. Anyway, continue.
So they're fighting their way up the coast, and these kids are doing pretty good for just being kids, never had any form of military training. They get airdropped ammunition and toilet paper.
Just like the first movie, they get airdropped they get airdropped extra shit, but some of them say congratulations and it's stuff that they need, and then other ones are you got the fucking whammy, and they have toilet paper and shit.
So even in this operation that the government has a vested interest in success, they're still fucking with these kids.
Well, yeah, it's just like the first movie where the one guy got a pan. Well, I mean, I still think, and they don't explicitly say this in the movie, but I still think
entertainment.
Yeah, it's for entertainment, one, and two, they don't really care, because if this class doesn't succeed, they'll just throw another class in there until the U.S. bombs everything.
So we'll get into it later.
Sorry, real quick. I know you didn't mention Ricky Taguchi in this, but
he's amazing. He's
amazing, but it's something I always forget till I watch movies again, that him and Beat Takashi are playing themselves somehow in the movie.
Yeah, it's very strange. Well, and the other thing is, if you read the book that Battle Royale based on, it's pretty good.
Hunger Games?
No. The teacher in the book is described very differently than Beat Takashi. And then if you read the manga, which I never did, but I've read this comparison, the manga teacher is like way different than Beat Takashi. So it's like weird. Like, I don't know why they decided to be like, use their real names. It's a very strange choice. Like Gogs even said when he saw it, he's like, it's Ricky Taguchi playing Ricky Taguchi. It's very strange. I love Ricky Taguchi though.
Well,
he's like Japanese, like Nick Cage.
I don't think it's. I think they are not just named the same. I think they are literally playing themselves as the celebrities in the movie.
Oh, I didn't pick up on that.
Oh, like they're the celebrity host, basically?
Yeah, I think that's what's going on.
Oh, okay. I didn't pick up on that.
That's interesting.
So that they're fighting their way up the coast or up into the, inland. They're getting shot to pieces, and then at some point, like one of the sniper kids that they're trying to raid notices these kids. They're fighting children, and they're wearing collars. So then they kind of pull back and let the kids. They kind of like let them get in, and then you've got the scene from The Rock.
Oh, yeah, it's a cool
comes out of the showers.
It's a cool sequence because the sniper realizes that they're just throwing kids up against them, so they don't want to murder them because they understand who they are and like what they're doing. Whereas before they just are soldiers storming the beach, so they don't have the foresight to realize what they're doing.
And might be add, the soldiers that show up later in this film are the worst.
Yeah,
like I don't mean that from like a moral perspective. Like they're not like monsters. They're just they're
terrible
Imperial Stormtrooper level bad at their job. Like it's just unbelievable. So now the movie kind of hits a slow middle where the kids kind of, there's a standoff at gunpoint, and then there's I guess the Battle Royal folks decide to blow all the necklaces, or they do something because everyone's necklaces start chirping, and they break out their EMP sledgehammer device. It wipes out all the necklaces. The kids get free, and so now these guys have these Battle Royal 2 kids through a series of conversations get won over into the BR1 crowd and are now also freedom fighters.
They're called Wild 7.
Wild 7. They're big flag in English that says Wild 7. Yeah. And then you've learned about now these kids that were fighting for or fighting to take the island, they hate adults too. They're just they have a gun they have a bomb to their neck. So what are they going to do about it? So then you find out about what happened after the first movie, and basically the kids from the first movie went to live in Afghanistan for a while, and it's this really weird Sally Struthers depressing scene of children.
Yeah, Sean's right. They live with the Mujahideen.
Yeah, shout out to the gallant soldiers of the Mujahideen.
It's fucking wild. It's one thing where they basically are making the clear, they're calling them terrorists. There's a line early in the movie where they're like, "I'll never forget what you did," which is a clear fucking 9/11 reference. But then they just go ahead and are like, "Oh yeah, they lived in Afghanistan and learned fucking terrorism."
If you tried to make this movie here, people would kill you.
It would.
It wouldn't let you.
This movie got death threats. People were pissed off when this movie came out. I'm telling you, and I'll get into it a little later, I'm sure. But I think the main reason this movie is hated so much is because it's the anti-American pro-terrorist movie.
Well, yeah, if you read all the reviews, 75% of the reviews are about just the premise of the movie, how much they hate it.
Yeah, I don't have any hard time believing that, because I don't think the movie, people have such a violent reaction to this movie. I don't think it's even about the movie. I think they're just upset because you made a fucking America Sucks movie a year after 9/11.
The closest thing in tone I can think of to this movie is a British movie called Four Lions, which is a flippant movie about ISIS. But
yeah, I've heard of that.
But they're presented as bungling, kind of so it softens it a little bit. It's still kind of controversial, but it's nothing like this where it just kind of revels in it.
Yeah, no, the terrorists are the heroes in this movie. Without a doubt. It's not even a gray area. They are completely the heroes. And then, guys, you continue. We'll get into the other themes of this movie as we move on.
So at this point, they've realized that the whole thing's gone south. The kids use their super hacking skills on their weird desolate atoll or whatever to hack all computers and electronic devices and let out their manifesto about we're going to war with adults just like Children of the Corn. And then the island gets kind of sort of bombed, and that's when the prime minister of Japan's like, "Yo, we got to send in him and clean him up before that country bombs this island to pieces." Which brings me to I'll raise this point now. I still don't understand why Japan doesn't just bomb that island to pieces. Like I'm still.
So the way I read it, and I could be wrong, but I think what this is I think this is a very good, it's not done particularly well, but it's a metaphor, right? Like the Japanese see the battle royal program as like honorable. So like they are conducting their business honorable way. Or moreover, let's look at it in a different context. I think the message of the movie is that
children.
Well, no. I think the message of the movie is America can't keep their hands out of anyone else's business. Like America has no place dealing with this battle royal problem, but they decide to fucking intervene. Whereas, like, I think that's the message of the movie. Like America sucks. They're overreaching and they police the world.
Oh, I mean, I don't disagree with that.
And I think in the context of the movie, I think what Ricky Taguchi's whole thing is, and why he gets so upset, is because Japan was doing it like an honorable way. And obviously it's not, but in their own weird, like, twisted logic it is. But then America's got to come in and just fucking drop bombs like they always do. And that's like the crux of the movie. I could be wrong. I don't know, Sean. Do you disagree with that?
You're right. That's the whole point of that entire chalkboard scene and that chalkboard in the movie itself.
Right.
Because they use the phrase "America bombed" very regularly in the movie.
Yeah.
Not invaded, not this. I think it's the actual, like, and I think this happens a lot in Japanese media, specifically around like the late 80s, early 90s. It's just that residual kind of like dealing with getting those bombs dropped on them.
Well, yeah,
and not just like
it's a big deal.
This isn't like a poor Japan thing because all the shit they did to the Chinese and whatever. But that's another show. But like not only the atomic bombs, but they also firebomb Tokyo like into the fucking dirt for quite a long time. So like I think there's a really negative connotation to the act of bombing specifically. So I think TJ's right in his read on that.
Yeah, it's just
first time for everything. Also, it's fun to hear a Japanese person say El Salvador. El Salvador.
But it's weird that in the scene with the prime minister, right, they never say the U.S., they just say that country.
I bet you, and I don't know this for a fact, but this was distributed by Toei, right? Toei is a major studio in Japan, probably the biggest studio in Japan. I bet you there was a production note that said you can not say America. Like, we all know what you mean, but you notice they never say America in the movie.
They did when they they say America when what Sean just said, when they do the chalkboard scene, they do.
Yeah.
But not when it's direct action. You're talking about past action. So, like, I guess,
that's historically accurate.
They're afraid that they would get bombed for real.
So then they send in the bumbling Keystone Cop version of.
Real quick, I think I might have mentioned this before, but Quentin Tarantino was actually supposed to play the president of the United States in this movie.
Oh, that would have been awesome. That would have been so good. Damn it! Why didn't we get that?
Scheduling.
Oh, that'd have been so great. I would have loved to have seen that. I know he's a big fan of the first movie.
Yeah.
I think he put it on like his best movies of like ever list. I saw some list and it's like high up there. I was like, all right, good for you.
I won't collapse the tomahawks if you just show me your feet.
Well, he put God, you mentioned it. He put what's her name from Battle Royale in Kill Bill.
Yeah, Gogo Yubari or whatever.
Gogo Yubari is one of the kids in Battle Royale
1. So now they send in the troops, and now we've got another storm in the beach scene. These guys are terrible. These kids are just picking them apart.
Yeah,
But,
the kids do a very good job at dispatching these troops. Like, the troops suck.
But then they basically the troops whittle them down. They get into the into the base. I think the Wild 7 group has laced it with explosives just in case.
Yeah,
and there's a tunnel. It's never really stated how far away this island is from the mainland, but they found a tunnel that might lead to the mainland.
Yeah.
So basically, they split up the youngest kids. There's like a legit baby in this scene. They take all the young. They arm all these toddlers with AKs and send them in the tunnels where the older kids fight it out to the death. Shooty, blammy, kabammy, and then the island blows up, and everybody's like, "Well, that's the end of that chapter."
Wait, time out. You didn't go through the Ricky Taguchi death scene. The strangest scene in maybe film history.
So at this point in the movie, and show fan Anthony was joining us, and he was pointing out that everyone now has death speeches in this movie. So people are dying, people are lamenting, and then Ricky Taguchi ends up on the island in full rugby regalia.
Yeah, earlier in the movie, before they got drugged, they were playing rugby. Much like in the first movie, it was a basketball scene. In this movie, it's a rugby scene. It's kind of.
Can somebody please dress in that tracksuit and slam a rugby ball and announce that it's Christmas this year?
As your neck explodes.
Oh, thank you for pointing that out. This is one to remember. This is a non-traditional Christmas movie. They make mention that it's Christmas 100 times in the fucking movie. Yeah.
Yeah, TJ, I wanted to ask you because I figure if anybody of us knew, you would. What is Christmas a thing in Japan at all?
Yeah, there's two things, right? Christianity is pretty popular in Japan, believe it or not. Those idiots. But they also like to just celebrate Christmas. You remember the joke in The Simpsons where he had the robot and it's annual gift giving man?
Yeah.
Where it's Santa Claus. That's legit how Japan celebrates Christmas. They just like the idea of what it represents, so they just celebrate it like that. Kind of the way most Americans celebrate Christmas, to be honest. But yeah, Christmas is a thing in Japan. Also, here's a fun cultural note. You know it's the most popular place to eat on Christmas? You have to get fucking reservations.
McDonald's fried chicken.
KFC.
Yeah, KFC is the correct one, yeah. KFC, people
Taco Bell after it won the franchise wars.
Yeah. It's a weird, they love KFC, first of all. And, eating at KFC on Christmas is a tradition in Japan. You have to get reservations to get it.
I feel like an insult. It's such a weird...
No, they love, a lot of Japanese stuff. They love Western culture. They love American culture, so. And they make everything that we have cooler.
They like our culture, but they don't like our bombs. Come on.
Real quick, I don't want to get on a weird tangent, but I know there's not a whole lot left in this movie, so I'll tell a story real quick. You've seen that movie, Mr. Baseball, right?
Love it.
Okay. Tom Selleck's character was loosely based on a guy named Randy Bass that played for the Hanshin Tigers, and he played for the Astros, I think. And they the year they went to the pennant, everybody had a look-alike of one of the players on the team jump into this bay near Hanshin, and they couldn't find anybody who looked like Randy Bass, of course, so they grabbed the Colonel Sanders statue from in front of the KFC and threw it in the bay, and then the Hanshin Tigers didn't win. Didn't go to the playoffs for 30 years, so they dredged this fucking bay, reinstalled Colonel Sanders, and now they leave tributes and shit to him. It was legit the curse of Colonel Sanders. Look it up, it's fucking nuts.
That's hilarious. Anyway,
we only dredged the bay to get statues of Christopher Columbus back out of it.
That's right.
Yeah, or for Elvis Costello songs.
Nice. Anyway, moving on.
So now,
at the end of the movie,
he shows up, and I still don't understand why. I guess he believes in it so much he strapped a necklace on himself, so he's going to go down with this ship.
He has the necklace on himself from the beginning.
Yeah, it's from Jump Street.
Pointed that out, when we were watching. He's like, "Why does he have the necklace?" And it is weird that he has it from the beginning.
Yeah, he kind of flashes it when he's showing the other. Doesn't he point to it when he's talking to the kids?
Yeah, I think what it is I think he's. In a weird way, he feels connected to these kids. I think
he says, he's like, I wish I could have played rugby with you. Is he is he just over the age of, like, is he just into adulthood?
I mean, Ricky Taguchi is at least 40 in this movie, so I don't know. It's weird. I'm not going to tell you I understand this scene. It's fucking bonkers. It's why I love it, because it doesn't make a fucking lick of sense. I don't get it. I don't understand how Ricky Taguchi got there. Like
what's causing his necklace to even blow up?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know any of that. It makes no sense.
So he's getting ready to blow his neck up. He's like, everybody go, run away. And then he's
also dressed in a full rugby outfit, and he's got the rugby ball from the game earlier. And
yeah. So then he just he John Elways himself over the line to get the ball in, and his neck explodes on Christmas, and all the kids, well, some of the kids explode, some of the soldiers explode. No one knows what happened, but everybody thinks that everyone's dead. And then,
they're dead because the U.S. bombed.
Oh, and then the U.S. just missile commanded. No, it wasn't. Didn't the Japanese do it?
I thought it was the U.S. I don't think the Japanese did it.
Well, whatever. Somebody missile commands the fuck out of this thing, and there's missiles coming in from literally every. There's come skipping across the water,
And there's a cool little chyron that because before you got the little update every time somebody died, and this time it's everybody's dead, game void or something. It's just the game it didn't exist. It doesn't matter now.
And then you're back. You cut to Afghanistan, where the kids that did survive the game are now living with the brave people of the Mujahideen.
Yeah, and you get to see because it is kind of annoying in the movie. So in the first movie, Shinya and the girl survive. I forget her name, and you don't see the girl this whole movie until the very end of the movie. And I want to say, I could be wrong, I think in the theatrical cut, I think the movie ends right after the bombing. So I don't even think you see her in the regular version of this movie. Yeah, I don't think I could be wrong, but
I've never seen the theatrical cut, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But and then that's it. That's
the movie. Yeah,
that is Battle Royale 2.
They're training to be terrorists, more terrorists.
Yeah, against adults.
Yeah, this movie is insane. I think its ambition is just nuts. I can't I mean, I hate America and but to I don't know if I'm sure, I mean, we're all the same age, but do you remember how pro-America shit was after 9/11?
Yeah.
Come out with this kind of statement then is, I mean, it's still, like Sean said, it's still crazy now, but back then, even more so, it's nuts. It's insane to be oh yeah, America fucks everything up, and you know what? They inspire terrorists. I mean, it's true, but to say that when the wound is so raw, it's crazy. And it's hard to move. For people that hate this movie, like Sean said, it's hard to move past that. But it's even hard to move past it when you like the movie, like I do. It's kind of nuts. I don't know. One thing I will say, I remember watching this movie and I absolutely hated the CGI blood. But now, after 20 years or so of watching CGI blood, the CGI blood in this isn't even bad. It's really not.
There's two scenes where it hits the camera where I was like,
I hate that. I hate that too.
Come on.
But overall, I thought the production design's pretty good. It's great that they use real sets. All the locations look great. I think that the action sequences are done pretty well. Again, they're not Frank Grillo and they're not Arnold Schwarzenegger. They're kids that they're freaking out and they barely know what they're doing. And I think that they do a good job in conveying that in the action sequences. I don't know. I think there's a lot to like about this movie. There's definitely a soggy middle, and I feel like the ending could have been chopped down significantly. I really do think the credits should have rolled after the bombs hit. I think that's a better
The problem with the middle isn't, I guess a little bit more than the middle, isn't so much that it's slow. It's that the beginning of the movie is so insane.
Yeah.
That nothing, it would have to be The Raid to continue in the way that it is. You know what I mean? Like, they have to slow down to kind of tell you what's going on and who's related to who, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
But, like, you can't. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, the beginning of this movie is like all killer, no filler. Like, it's nuts. Like, the first like 15 minutes of this movie are just bonkers. Like, it's pretty great. But yeah, I don't know what y'all think. Do we want to just get into Five Knuckle Shuffles? Do we have anything else we want to talk about?
I mean, I'm good with just getting into it.
Five Knuckle Shuffle time. Alec, I'm interested in this.
6.
oof.
Oof.
Don't remind me of better movies like Battle Royale 1.
That
I don't know. This movie was fine. I don't know. I had trouble paying attention or following it though. Like, even watching it with you guys out back, like there were definitely points where I totally tuned it out. Like, cause it would just drug on. And like, the movie doesn't have a soggy middle. It has like 3 soggy, like, parts. Not even middles.
I got 3 soggy parts.
I bet you do.
My whole
like,
body is a soggy.
You go from the first like half hour, like all thriller, not even close to filler, and then it just stops. And then it goes
it moves
again.
at a clip.
It goes again, and then it stops. I think that happens like 3 times. And like, I just don't have that kind of attention span, especially for a movie I gotta read.
Fair.
Yeah,
all right.
It was fine, but I think the first one's better.
I wouldn't even question that. Yeah, the first one.
It's simpler, and I think it's a easier concept to follow. Although I will say this was ambitious.
Super ambitious.
Gogs.
I'm gonna do you one better and give it a 7. It's sort of the same things. Like, the parts that are fast and fun. Battle Royale, the original one's 9-10 territory. It's a much more complete movie. You learn more about the kids. You care more about the kids. This one's spectacle and it's wild. There's crazy shit that happens, but in between the crazy shit that happens, it's kind of slow and, you know, I know it's trying to be dramatic and do whatever it's trying to do, but it's. I would like a little. The pacing is so jarring, and you know you don't really get any time with the new cast of kids. Like, you really don't know much about any of them.
Aside from Takashi's daughter.
Yeah, but you get your typical archetypes of, like, you know, the nerdy kid and the goody two shoes and like the bad kid and like the ugly one and like the
you know the nerd because he has glasses, and you know the badass because he has like an afro.
So and so, what's her face? The ugly one. Crush on every boy.
Teen Girl Squad Battle Royale would be something else.
Teen Girl Squad was the best.
So yeah, it's a 7. But it's it's worth watching. It's interesting. It's fucking nuts. But if you have a choice between watching Battle Royale and Battle Royale 2, Battle Royale is the superior film. Like,
what a strange choice. You can only watch the sequel or the original.
Right. Do I have to watch the sequel to get the original to understand the sequel? No.
No, but you can only watch one.
Yeah. Yeah, Sean.
I'm going to give this an 8, and I realize, and I agree with everybody's thoughts on the movie, and I would say Battle Royale is an objectively better film from a craft standpoint. But not only have I seen that movie a lot, I've seen that type of movie a lot. Like, it's just like Deadlocked for kids. You know what I mean? Like, that was shocking then because it was children. But it's like, I'm so desensitized to that shit, and I've never seen a movie with a premise like this one. So just for that, and like how fucking like just like Looney Tunes bonkers it is for the first, 40 minutes. I almost don't care that the middle's boring because it's just like, whatever. I don't remember that when I think about this movie. All I think about is Ricky Taguchi say Afghanistan and like screaming and getting knives thrown at him and just blood everywhere and Merry Christmas. Like, if this movie was just a collection of gifs, it would be the best movie ever. Like, just like the smiling kids with their fucking Muja gear at the end. Like, yeah, the middle is boring, but it has to be for the way that they paced it. I don't know how you would make it less so, and still make the same movie they're trying to make. But I don't know. Like, I have a weird, like, I can't score this movie like super objectively, so I'm gonna give it an 8, even though I realize it's like not really deserving of such. TJ.
I'm going to piggyback off of you because I feel the exact same way. This is an 8 for me, dog. I would say the original Battle Royale is a 10. I think it's a great movie. I think it's a modern classic. I really like that movie a lot. It's a movie that's so good it forced me to read the book, so I liked it. Yeah. Fun little note about the book, and I don't think this is the book's fault, but like half of my book was published upside down. I think it was a printing error. Like I got halfway through the book, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, it didn't have a backup story?
No, it was. Yeah, no, it wasn't a comic book. The book's really good, by the way. If you like the first movie, definitely read the book because the cool thing about the movie is a great adaptation of the book. But what's cool is like there's a lot of scenes in the movie where they hint at like murders, like the one girl that like ends up getting into like killing everybody. Like there's a few scenes where you see her in the aftermath of all the murders. The book actually explains what happens in all those. It's a really cool book. I highly recommend it. It's a little long, and I don't know if I'm sure Sean, I think Gogs has too. If you've ever read a book that's translated from another language, sometimes there's some little hiccups there that are kind of tough to read.
Yeah, like every Russian sci-fi novel.
Yeah, I read Metro 2033. Yeah,
But anyway, the Battle Royale book I would recommend. Battle Royale 1 is like I said a classic. It's a 10, but Battle Royale 2 for me is an 8 because I don't know. I think I've been very consistent in my scoring where I give originality more points than kind of anything. And I don't know I've ever seen a movie like this. Like, just to be so anti-American and to be so pro-terrorist and not be a joke. Like, it's nuts. It's fucking insane. And then, like, to the fact that, like, you followed up, like, arguably one of the most popular and successful Japanese films where you knew you were going to have a lot of eyes on this movie because, like, I know it took a long time for Battle Royale to officially be released in America. I would say that Battle Royale 1, back in the early 2000s, that was the most popular, like, bootleg that, like, everyone had seen, but, like, you couldn't officially buy it.
Yeah, I went on I think I told you about the date I went on. I had to go to a mall, like, kiosk in Annapolis to buy this thing on a bootleg DVD.
Yeah, I got my first copy of it bootleg at Baltimore Comic-Con, like, with, like, a hand-printed, like, yeah. It might have just been masking tape that said Battle Royale on it.
I think that to follow up your, like, super popular movie that was not only popular in Japan, but popular pretty much everywhere, with this is nuts. Like, it's so insane that I gotta respect the swing. Like, I think that the beginning of this movie is really interesting. I think that instead of doing what they usually do in a sequel where you're kind of just make the first movie over again, this movie did interesting things where they were trying to play with what the themes were in the first one, right? Like, I think that, again, like I kind of said before, I think the whole point of the deaths being meaningless and the kids getting less screen time is intentional, and I think it's really interesting. I think I think the first movie is a cultural critique, whereas this is more of a critique on, like, war itself and, like, country states and that kind of thing. And yeah, it doesn't land and its metaphors are a little muddy, but, like, the fact that they did it and they, like, I don't know, I give it a lot of respect and I enjoy it for how insane it is. I love Riki Taguchi. I love the flashback to Beat Takashi where, like, he's a shitty dad and he gives his fucking daughter a present a day late. And his response is, well, I guess I should just kill myself. Which is, like, the most...
We've all been there.
Gaslighting fucking bullshit. Like, I don't know. That's some shit that the Van's gonna have to deal with and AJ are gonna have to deal with when they get
every day.
Guys,
you didn't like macaroni and cheese?
They didn't have dinosaur-shaped chicken nuggets, okay?
Yeah.
You got regular chicken nuggets. I'm gonna kill myself.
Yeah. Oh, your crayon broke? I'm just gonna launch myself into traffic.
You're gonna have just a noose in your carport, like it's like you just point at it.
I just tap it. Just like give it like a. Don't make me tap the noose.
And then we're all sitting around at his fucking wheelchair party, and it's like, yeah. And then Liz came out and saw him and said, "There's something to live for."
Oh god. But yeah, I don't know. I also like Sean. I agree. This movie is far from perfect, and I do think that there is a soggy middle to this movie. But like, I just again I have to agree with Sean. When I think about this movie, I don't think about those parts. Like the parts that have burned their into my mind is the intro where you have like a recreation of the towers falling down. Like that alone, like that's your opening shot
4 times.
Like it's your opening shot is like the fucking towers falling down. Like that's nuts. Like I can't imagine. Like yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Like I don't know. That gets all the points for me. I love this movie. I have defended this movie since it came out. I will defend this movie till the day I die. So yeah, it's an 8 for me, dog. And thank you guys for watching this one. Last year's pick was Turbo Kid, which I think is a better movie, but like got a worse score from most
Well, it's better than my birthday pick and Gogs's, so
true.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So
if this podcast is still going on in November, everybody's getting to watch Cube.
I'm
not even Hypercube.
No. We gotta watch the first one. We gotta, or maybe Cube Zero if we're feeling spicy.
So who gets next week's pick?
Oh, Cubra. Who's
Chaswick Bose March?
You
Sean.
pick birthday boy. There you go.
Oh shit.
Or who has a pick ready? Does anybody have a pick ready?
I was gonna pick The Five Bloods, but that movie's like really long. But that's what I'm picking.
All right. It's not as bad to watch long movies now that we don't have to watch them like the night of. The Five Bloods. It's on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
It's a Netflix original.
Alec, you've already seen that one, haven't you?
Yes, I liked it a lot.
I remember you saying.
Alec, hang on. Which you think would be a better one? Because I'm picking between two: this or Message from the King.
I was gonna pick Message from the King because I've also seen The Five Bloods.
Well, then I'll pick The Five Bloods.
Cool.
Yeah, they're both solid choices. He's not in The Five Bloods nearly as much. The Five Bloods is really Delroy Lindo's movie.
Delroy Lindo's fucking amazing.
Message from the King, and Gogs has to repick.
All right, that's fair.
Wait, what did you just pick?
Message from the King.
Okay. All right. That's the what is that on Netflix too?
It's also a Netflix movie, I believe.
Yes, it is.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, that'll be next week. Hopefully, by the time you all hear this, the website will be back up. I hope.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, but we'll see. If not, subscribe to our YouTube. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon or whatever they say.
Yeah, make sure you get them notifications.
Yeah, you all need to. So I'm dabbling with the idea of putting the video right to YouTube. So you all should have you got to change your Google icons if you're not going to put your video up to some fun icon. So when it shows the video, you can see like a fun icon.
Guys, I found out that only 20% of the people that listen to the show are actually subscribing. So that's crazy.
Yeah. Who would have thought?
That's a joke. Sean and I watch way too much YouTube where I immediately got that joke. Anyway. All right, everybody. See you next week.
All right,
later boners.
Right, a bitch.
Boop.